So the other day on a Friday, I was coming back home from prayer and this brother approached me and he was trying to sell me a product. It was a perfume. And if I'm honest with you, I wasn't too much of a fan of the actual bottle, but I did give it a go. I checked a couple of scents and blah, blah, blah. Didn't really like it too much. However, we ended up walking back home because he lived close by and we ended up speaking for over an hour. Brother, if you're watching this, I wanted to make this video because I feel like a lot of people will benefit from the information I'm about to share with you, because I wish someone had reminded me and told me this or taught me this when I was at your stage and age. This is a young man who really wants to build something successful. You know, I can see the fact that you had the courage to approach me, bro. Allahumma barik. May Allah bless you for your effort. Even though I wasn't a fan of the product, I still wanted to know who you are. I asked him, what is your biggest weakness? The brother, your response was, it was perfectionism. Now, don't get me wrong, perfectionism can be a major issue, but I don't think it's your biggest weakness. If anything, it can be your strength in disguise, but it can hold you back. But from my observation, I questioned it even more. I said, do you know what I think it is? And I just asked directly, how are you feeling? Are you feeling anxious right now? And the brother said, yes. Allahumma barik, may Allah bless you. Which takes strength to admit. And the reason I can see all of this, the reason I'm talking about this is because I can relate. When you don't have that support from your father, that emotional support, you don't know how to carry this kind of weight. You kind of, you're on your own emotion and you suppress it, you push it down because you want to be strong. And there's one thing that you said to me that I wanted to make this podcast about, which was, I need to build a foundation. Because I asked the brother a question. I said, are you married? And he said, no. And it's a psychological trick when I ask you that question. It was for me to understand what you deem as when you will be good enough. Because I know so many brothers, including myself, that struggled with this. And you convince yourself in your head, once I achieve X, Y, and Z, and I become that best version of me, and I got the money, I got confidence, I can speak to anyone, I can approach anyone, then you feel good. No, bro, you don't. It's like that fat person who keeps saying, once I get skinny, I will feel good enough. They get skinny and they're still fat and ugly on the inside. The beauty didn't come, bro. It didn't come. When I first started coaching, a man reached out to me and my guy said to me that he was making 10 bags a month, 10K a month. And he was telling me he's got a baby, that he just had a baby. He's got a wife. Business is doing good. But guess what? He didn't want to be alive anymore. He was done with life. Perfect position for any man to be in. And he was done with life. And he was telling me, yo, help me get rid of this feeling, bro, because I got so much I need to show up for. But I don't feel like I can show up. That is why I do what I do. Because the reality of our real struggles isn't spoken about enough. You get the point? It's not. Most men try to make it look like you're just strong or you're not. Full stop. You're either going through it or you're not. It's a lie, bro. Every single brother I can speak to, I can tell you, you can dig enough, hard enough, and you find that there's some pain there. We're all struggling with something internally. And then the world will sell you the solution that you can feel better. If only you had the body, the lifestyle, the money, the women, God knows what, the cars, the holidays, the home, everything. It's a lie, because it doesn't fill the void, the darkness that you carry. It doesn't get rid of it. Only till you get there do you realize that this is so empty. And that's the thing that I don't want you to do, is for you to chase and chase and chase. But for some reason, you just never seem to feel any better. You get good at the chase. You get really good at, people telling you, bro, look, whoa, you're so amazing. Look at what you've done. Like, you inspire me, bro. I want to be like you. Like, yeah, that's sick. That feels so nice, but it doesn't last long. And I know you know this. The reason I say this is because so you can understand that the goal that you're chasing carries no value, true value at the end of it. That's going to really create that internal peace for you. But it's going to help you on the outside so you can focus on these things. Inshallah, if God wills. So the spirituality is real. However, you're in a position where you must go after what you want relentlessly, because you need to. Full stop. You cannot sit there and, just bring ease and peace, because there's going to be anxiety chasing you because your situation isn't great. Excuse me. So, how do you go after something but at the same time completely detach from it? Let me help you. There's something called the law of detachment. What it means is basically the more you hold the very thing that you desire up on this pedestal, the more you reinforce the fact that it is not here. Subconsciously and unconsciously, what you're really doing is you're saying that I am not there yet. And what this does is continues to reinforce the identity and the habits of an individual that hasn't reached the outcome yet. So for you, what you need to learn to do is become the person that already has the outcome that you want. Reverse engineer the goal. So if your desire and dream and goal is up here, you must now bring it back down to reality and realize that this thing isn't going to change your whole life. This thing isn't going to make you feel better about yourself. This thing is just here. This is who I am. Now, for me to have that thing in my life, whether it's financial success for you or more ease, the first advice I gave the brother was, bro, get a job. I had a client as well who was in a very desperate situation and he wanted me to help him make money through coaching. But my first piece of advice was, bro, forget that. Go get a job. That's my first bit of advice for you. Why? Because when we're going to approach this coaching business as I need money because otherwise my family's going to, my boat's sinking. That's not a good place to come from, bro. There's desperation and you're just going to struggle. You don't need to struggle to create financial freedom. That's the stuff you see in movies. Yes, some people did it that way. But if your situation is that you have a family on your back, listen, you don't need to do it that way, bro. It's like trying to build a house while there's a tornado. It's not gonna work. You might manage it, but bro, it's like you don't need to make it that hard. Stop watching the movies, bro. Like Pursuit of Happiness. That's a lie. And sometimes the thing that you might be trying to resist going to a job, but I learned something so valuable that Allah will not give you more than you can handle, right? A soul will not, a bird, a soul will not be but more than, oh my God, I'm butchering this. But you get the point, right? Allah will not give you more than you can handle. So whatever your situation requires from you is the thing that you actually need to go through to become the person that you need to be. Now, if you were in a situation where your family had your back, your bills were being paid, you just had to take care of you, do it. Do it. Because it's more than possible, because now you're going to learn so much. It's an experience. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be scary. It's going to be everything, but you won't, your ship's not sinking, bro. You're in someone else's ship. So if your ship is sinking, you must first get a job. Get yourself to a position where you can create ease for yourself. This vision of, becoming financially free, you must first take it off a pedestal. So if you're saying, no, bro, I cannot do that. I'm giving up on myself. You're putting that thing very high, my bro. Very high. Where you're saying to yourself, I must, because if I don't, what will happen? If I don't become successful, what will happen? And this ties back in to the very thing that I first mentioned, which was you getting married. You are not worthy enough, right? You're not good enough. And unfortunately, money won't solve that problem. That's something that you have to understand about yourself and why you carry that belief about you. We all do for various reasons. And the truth is, no amount of money fixes it or heals it. You just realize that you're broken. You feel broken because nothing seems to get rid of it. And you think to yourself, wait, this is something that I dreamed about where I am. I dreamed about this. Why don't I feel better? It doesn't go away. So when you apply this method that I'm telling you, you're actually going to work much more efficiently towards your goal than the path that you're taking now. Because the path that you're taking now is there's a storm above you and you can only go for so long until you drop, and then you're going to run all the way back. Whereas create the ease. And then I mentioned this to the brother, you're going to create ease in your life and then you're going to get comfortable. And then for you to now take a risk and start a business again, it's going to be very difficult, but it's doable. Because you eventually will reach a stage where you're like, I cannot live like this. I cannot continue to do the same thing again and again for this amount of money. I want more out of my life, inshallah, by God's will. So then you pursue those things again. So your time becomes very limited because yes, you're going to have a job. However, the pressure of making money off of your business and your endeavors will be very minimal. Maybe just running costs is needed, which you can again fund by yourself, inshallah. And even if you can't do that, you can wait and save up a bit and then go after it. But then once you go after it, you must go after it like it is your full-time job. You're basically going to have two jobs. And then, yes, that's when the hustle really kicks in, because you're going to have to be very efficient with your timing, because you have to work your job, come home and work your business. And while you do all of this, you learn that your heart, your loneliness, your fears, your anxieties, it's an inside job. And you start by acknowledging that you feel alone, acknowledging that you feel sad, allowing yourself to cry, whether that's on the prayer mat to Allah or whether that's to your partner. To other people, it's very difficult to do, or a therapist, right? But let's be real. Bun the therapist, bruv. I'm tired of these therapists because they get paid to drag your shit on. But you must learn. No offense to the therapist. You must learn to be your own therapist, your own coach, your own leader, your own guide. You can cry out to Allah, but you need to learn how to lead yourself, especially as a man. And sometimes it's very difficult to do when you never had that before, when you never heard that before. So hopefully, I can be that voice for you in this moment until you learn to be the voice for yourself. Now, I am not perfect. I am flawed. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of father I'm going to be, right? Or what my work will look like in 10, 20 years' time with my own children. I don't know. And that's a scary thought. But we can only do our best. And we can only be honest and have humility through that. Instead of thinking we know everything. I don't know. I could be wrong about everything I've just said. Or it could help you, right? So take this advice, question it, watch it again if you need to. Watch my other content to understand where I'm coming from, and be patient for more. Because I promise you one thing, this information, I've observed a lot of men around me, whether they were successful or not. Everyone needs to know that peace is within us. And yes, it sounds simple. Yeah, everyone does know, bro. Like, that's what Allah tells us. How often do you sit down and deep it that you're never going to get rid of your darkness by chasing this world? You're never going to get rid of it. How often do we deep that? We don't. Until it breaks us. As men, it's going to break you, bro. Your body will break because of the weight that you carry internally. The invisible weights that you're carrying. Your body will break under it. Most men suffer from heart attacks, from some physical diseases, bro, and all of that. That's where you're heading. That's where I'm heading if I don't apply this information. And then death will come. And we're going to be so empty when death comes. It's like we've been so distracted chasing this world because we thought that will solve our pain, but it just didn't. It never did. I hope this helped. I don't know why I wanted to make this message for you, but I remembered your story and I spoke about you to a few people. You remind me of myself. You remind me of the younger version of me who has so much dreams and aspiration and ambition, but you struggle with it because you can't carry the weight that comes with it. And understand something, the weight that comes with it is invisible. You must learn to process your emotions whilst you're carrying that weight. Otherwise, you will crumble and you will sabotage yourself and unconsciously go back to the very thing that you are used to, which is suffering and pain. So if you're used to just constantly trying but never getting there, that's your foundation. So no matter how much you pursue your dreams and your goals, understand that your mind will do whatever it can to take you back to the beginning, to your core foundation, your line, which is suffering and chaos. Because that's all you know. That's your identity. So the moment you choose to step out of it, your world will shake. The storm will come, but you must learn to sit with the storm. You must learn to embrace the chaos inside of you. Allow it to be there without thinking and labeling it. And I'm going to make a whole podcast episode on this, so make sure you subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment down below if this resonates with you. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace and love, and Assalamu alaikum.